Welcome to the Self-Belief Podcast, the show that we shift your self-belief in, because self-belief shifting shifts everything. I want to share something with you that I use in my own work and inside my membership. It's called continued writing. It's a simple way to understand what's going on underneath the thoughts that you keep having. The thoughts that are hidden away in your subconscious, not the thoughts that you think you should have, not the conscious answer, the one that's actually playing automatically without you even knowing about it. I start you with an unfinished sentence and you just keep writing. You don't plan it, you don't edit it, and you don't try to make it sound good. You just let the words come out. And the reason this matters is because so many people are trying to change things in their life from the conscious part of their mind. They're thinking about it, talking about it, reading about it, and trying so hard, but they still feel stuck. They still react before they have time to think. They still say yes when they want to say no. They still shut down, over-explain, people please, go quiet, and then think, why did I do that again? Continued writing helps you see what actually drives that reaction. And believe me, this is not so that you can blame yourself or beat yourself up. It's so you can actually see what's going on. Because once you can see the thought, the belief, or the pattern underneath that reaction, you have something you didn't have before: choice. I've created a free continued writing for you to try. It's a simple 10-prompt version, and it's a gentle pace to start. If you know something needs to change, but you can't quite work out why you keep doing the same thing over and over, even though you consciously know that you don't want to, you'll find the links to the freebie in the show notes. Let yourself write without making it perfect and just see what comes up. Because one unfinished sentence can show you more than hours of overthinking. Many people believe they are tired because they're busy. They look at the number of things that they have to do and assume the tiredness comes from the workload. Life feels full. There are jobs to complete, people to respond to, and situations to deal with. When everything is like that, it seems obvious that being busy must be the reason you feel drained by the end of the day. Welcome back to the Self-Belief Podcast. I'm Jenny Field, your self-belief expert from Just Being Me. And today, I want to talk to you about something you're probably doing without even realizing it. Have you ever finished this conversation and then thought, I didn't need to explain all of that? Or you've sorted something and later realized no one actually asked you to sort it? Or you've spent time thinking about how to do something to make it easier for someone else and didn't even question why you were doing it? That's what we're talking about today. Sometimes you do have a lot to do and your day genuinely takes a lot of energy. But a lot of the time, the tiredness you feel, it's not only coming from the work itself, it's coming from everything you're doing around it. Energy is used in so many small moments that most people barely notice it at the time. It's used when you explain something again so a conversation feels easier. It's used when someone reacts to a decision and you start working out how you can help them understand it. It's used when you become involved in a situation because you know how to deal with it. Each one of those moments may only last a few minutes, but they happen over and over again throughout the day. Because those moments look ordinary, you rarely question them. They look like helping. They look like responsibility. They look like being the capable person in the room. And most people see them as part of being reliable and getting things done. Over time, they add up. A conversation where you explain yourself for longer than necessarily uses energy. A situation where you feel responsible for how someone else reacts, that uses energy. Getting involved in something that was not yours to deal with, that uses energy as well. None of those things seem significant on their own, But together, they can take far more energy than the work you were originally doing. For such a long time, I believed I was tired because I worked hard, and I did. But I also assumed that the long hours were the only reason I felt drained. But looking back, well, now I can see something different. Because the work itself was not always the part that used the most energy. What used the most energy were the situations around it. It was the conversations where I felt the need to justify my decision. Or someone might question what I decided to do, and before I'd even thought about it, I would start explaining why. I believed that if the other person understood my reasoning, the conversation would become easier. It was also the moments where someone else's mood changed, and I immediately tried to work out what I'd done to cause it. If someone seemed upset, I would look for what I might have done wrong. If someone was frustrated, I would try and improve the situation. Because none of those moments looked unusual from the outside. For me, they looked like responsibility. They looked like capability. They looked like being the person who could handle things. But they were using energy all the time, mostly without me even realizing it. When people begin looking at boundaries, they often assume the focus will be on saying no to someone else. What many people discover instead is that boundaries also show up where they need their energy and understanding where it has been going. Once you begin paying attention, you start to notice the conversations where you automatically explain yourself. You start to notice the moments where you feel responsible. You're responsible for how someone else reacts. You begin to see the situations where you become involved, even though the situation did not begin with you. That awareness changes how you understand tiredness. It becomes clear that the energy you use each day does not only go into completing tasks. A large amount of it goes into managing conversations, managing reactions, and keeping situations running smoothly. And once you can see that clearly, something else becomes obvious. Not every situation needs your energy. Not every conversation needs explaining, and not every reaction needs solving. Recognizing that doesn't mean that you stop caring about people or situations. It means that you begin to see that your energy has limits and where it goes matters. Because that recognition is important, because boundaries are not only about what you say to other people, they are also about where your energies go. And when you start noticing where that energy is being used, you begin to understand how closely boundaries and energy are connected. And that is where the next part of this conversation begins. And in the next episode, we're going to look more closely at one of the places this shows up the most, which is becoming the person that everyone relies on. Thank you for being here with me today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.